All right, folks. Welcome to BVI Pilots. My name is John. Glad to be here with you guys. Uh, Before we get started or anything, we'll tell you ahead of time. I will have to stop off and on and get a drink. My voice is the weather's got the best of my uh voice. So um I apologize ahead of time. All right, so we got the screen share on. Okay. So let me go over here. So we're going to be talking about first officer next. Before we get started, though, as most of you know, any of us inside the sim know that when Microsoft 2020 came out, it was kind of rusty. We really wasn't too sure about how things were going to go. And as time passes more and more, which me and Declan had said this, as more time passes, the better it will become. And it's pretty accessible. They're doing what they can, and I think they're doing a decent job at that to make it accessible for us. But Microsoft 2020, the quality is really there visually and even in the uh, audio side of things. And it's giving you best of both sides of the virtual simulator world, or more better said, I guess you would say the virtual cockpit world, because that's what it's about. Being in the cockpit, flying, but also being outside the cockpit. I know you can actually walk around the outside of the airplane, I guess. Of course, being visually impaired, for us to be able to do that, I don't think there's a hotkey to do that. If there was, I guess I would, if there was, I would do it. Even with me not being able to see outside the cockpit that well, I would do a walk around if I could, if I knew how to do it and I knew how to get back into the airplane. I would do it, because you can walk around the entire airplane looking at it, every detail of it on the outside. Um, if anybody knows that there's a hotkey to do that, that will take you out, and then you could maybe use the arrows on the keyboard to go around. I don't know, but I would do it anyway. The point is, it's more and more as time passes. The quality is becoming more. It's becoming better, and it's really given us that true quality in the virtual world of flying airplanes. Now, with that said, you're saying, okay, what is this about first officer next? Well, it's exactly as the title points it out to be. First officer next used to be a program that was specifically about one thing, and that was to do the flows for you so that you could fly. Also to help those that wasn't very good at flying yet, that didn't know much about it, could use this program and do a flight, right? But now, as time passed, we had P3D, and then it went to 2020. Now, when it was just P3D, here's what I'd like to point out before we go too deep into this, is before anybody reached out to Matt, the developer of First Officer Next, he wasn't thinking about anyone being blind flying the airplane. I can almost guarantee you that. Now I'm going to ask him, because I've got him coming on for an interview, and we've already spoke, and he agreed to do it. It will not be a live Q&A. Not this time. If at some point he's, wanting to do that, we could gladly probably make that happen. But we're not doing that just for the first time. What I will do is if you have a question, you can email me, and you need to be very specific on these directions that I'm about to give you. You're going to send an email to 737flights@gmail.com. In the subject, you are going to put in the subject questions for interview with First Officer Next. Questions for interview for First Officer Next. If I don't see that subject, your questions might not get answered at all. Okay. And I will ask him, I don't know, 5 questions or so, maybe more. We'll see. But I don't want to overwhelm things with abundancy of questions. So, send your questions, and there is a possibility that question will get pulled, and I will ask. If it's not questions and it's statements about your opinion about something you don't like or something needs to be changed, I might look at that and then I will reword it in a more professional way. The idea here is to give Matt the opportunity as a developer to openly speak about what he's doing, what he's done, and most of all, how he feels about everything so far. I can tell you, I personally really like First Officer Next because of all the things getting added to it. And there's more coming. And no, I do not know what that is. I do not intend on sharing that on the interview. The only way I would is if he said, yeah, we can talk about this. And he, tells you what it is. Remember, as always, I'm all about, if someone don't want to talk about something or don't want to share their name, you done know that I'm all about allowing people to speak anonymously. But that'd be up to him. But right now, I've got the First Officer Next is open. I just downloaded First Officer Next again, and you might want to go look because I'd sent him a support ticket because my first officer kept saying something about cargo at the bottom, about cargo false or something, and it wasn't starting to flow when I'd hit connect. Okay. And he said, hey, go download this. So I did. And I've researched update. Maybe something changed with FHIPC or something. I don't know. But either way, that's what I did. Now we've got this program that has became an all-in-one virtual world. It's giving us the ability to do more than just get in the plane and take off. Now I'm going to go through this stuff and talk about it. I should have turned on the audio. Let's see if I can do that. Let me stop screen share. Can I do that when I'm not on the Zoom window? I don't think so. Okay. All right. So share screen again. We're going to do it again. Forms.main. Is it forms.main? Yes, it is. Okay, let me do it again. Okay.
Close and annotate button.
Okay. So now,
Meeting controls.
hopefully you can hear my reader too for those that use a reader.
Forms.main row 1 column. Forms.main. Flows and checklist grouping. Pre-FLT flow button.
So when you first open up First Officer Next, you got your flows.
Pre-FLT flow button.
Pre-flight flow.
Pre-FLT CHKLST button.
The pre-flight checklist.
Before start flow button.
Before start flow.
Before start CHKLST button.
Before start checklist.
Start engines button.
Start engines button.
After start flow button.
After start flow.
Taxi CHKLST button.
Taxi checklist button.
Before the CHKLST button.
Before takeoff checklist.
Edit red only selected offline.
And then you got the edit box that says offline.
Offline selected.
To me, it's always said that even when you do connect. I think he's working on that.
Flows and checklist grouping. Pre-FLT flow button.
And then you're back to the top where the flows are. There is so much you can do inside here. I'm going to do my best to cover this stuff.
Drop the restart.
You've got, when you hit Alt and then you down arrow, you got a menu here. You got restart, configuration, support, company, buttons, and we'll get back to that in a minute.
Load aircraft / form.
Load aircraft / form. About,
exit,
and exit.
Restart.
The first thing I'm going to show you, in case you don't know this, is you have to activate
configuration,
the
support, company, buttons, load aircraft about, load aircraft / form.
Right here, load aircraft / form. You hit that.
BAE 146, FBWA 3 Aerosoft CRJ, HDWA PMDG 737.
You got a list of different planes.
HDWA 330. Aerosoft CRJ. FBW, Aerosoft HDW, PMDG 700, Bredock 700, PMDG 737.
There it is.
Flows and checklist grouping. Pre-FLT flow button.
Hit enter on that. PMDG.
Pre-FLT CHKL. Before start flow button. Before start CHKLST button.
Okay, and then
start engines button. After start flow, taxi CHKLST button. Before the CHKLS, edit red only offline. Flows and checklist grouping. Pre-FLT flow button.
Once you do that, go back to your
drop
file.
Configuration support. Company. Buttons. Company support.
I think it's
company.
Under
support. Configuration.
Support.
Getting started button. Guide button. Close button. Yahoo button. Forum button. Open ticket button. Check for update button. Create SPTPKG button.
No, it's not.
Check FSUIPC button. Edit red only multi-line selected. Do not use numeric exit. Copy the clipboard button.
I told you wrong.
Forms.main.
It's Alt.
Drop configuration.
Configuration.
User configuration. Audio button. Joysticks button. Close button. Options button. License button.
Tab down the license button.
Combo box collapsed. Edit land. PMDG line 737. PMDG line 737.
You got a list box. PMDG 737. Because there's other ones in here too.
Fan line A320.
A320.
FDW line A320. HDW FD Fan PMDG line 7. PMDG line 737.
Just
Fan
all
line
kinds.
PMDG line 737.
So you do the PMDG 737. That does cover the 739, the 738, the 700, 600. Tab.
Edit land. Edit land. How to buy FSFO. How to buy FSFO. Activate product button. Deactivate product button. Clear log button. Edit multi-line copilot for the renowned PMDG 737 left parent. MSFS only right parent. HTTPS : link flight simulator / out of link copilot for the renowned PM link flight simulator / out of link copilot for the renowned PMDG 737 left parent. MSFS only right parent. HTTPS : / link flight edit selected license manager unselected license manager edit multi-line selected 1 select the product you purchased 2 PMDG line 737 button combo box collapsed edit selected PMDG line 737 PMDG line 7 combo edit land.
And then here where you do your license, which I had to do that too. You your license goes in the first box, then your email in the second one. Once you do that,
edit land. How to buy FSFO link.
Go hit register. I'm not going to take you through and have to log into my thing to do it, but that's how you do it. Okay, that's simple. So
user configuration. Forms.main. Flows and check.
Go out of that. Okay. The next thing that we can do, and then we'll talk about some of these features in a minute, but the next thing that we can do is create an advanced file. Okay. And what that does is gives us more options that we can customize. And I'll show you how to do that. You
Drop the restart. Configuration.
go to configuration.
Stops button. Audio button. Joysticks button. Close button. Options button. License button. SIMBRF/pack sim button.
And there is a simbrief/packs button.
ADV options button.
We'll talk about that later.
SIM ADV options button.
ADV options button. Hit that.
Rest.
Your space bar.
Update no data button. Edit multi-line selected 1. Advanced create ADV file button.
Then you hit create ADV file button.
Press FSFO dialog. Are you sure you want to generate a new advanced options configuration file? This will
Ask
current
if you're
configuration file. Yes
sure.
button. No button. No plus yes button. No plus Y. Press
Okay,
user
yes.
configuration. Create ADV file button. Edit cursor.
Right. And once you do that, you'll go out of this and we'll restart it, but we're not going to do that yet. We'll restart here in a minute.
Value row 00 selected. Option row 0 always use 18 feet for transalt selected.
So on this, you can actually do these settings without editing the file, because you can get on where you want to, basically you get on what you want, and
Value row 00 selected.
where it says value 0, get your cursor on that and just do a left click, and then change it to 1 if that's what you want.
Option row 0 always use 18 feet for transalt selected.
So always use 18,000 for transition.
Value row 00 selected.
That's on 0, obviously, because if you fly to other countries have, everybody don't have the same transition altitude.
Row 1 row. Option row 1 change barrel selector based on kg selected.
Change barrel based on kg.
Value row 1 selected.
It's already set to 1.
Row 2 row. Option row 2 copilot TRGM HGS selected.
Copilot programs.
Row 1 row. Row 2 row. Option row 2 copilot TRGM HGS selected.
Let's see.
L A 0. Always use 18 feet for transalt. Option value opti. Always use 18 feet for change barrel selector base stops. Copilot TRGM HGS 1. 1. Copilot TRGM HGS.
Copilot
OPILOTTRGMHG.
programs
GHGS space.
HGS. It might be headings, I believe.
Value row 2 1 selected.
That's set to 1.
Row 3 row. Option row 3 load fuel payload for PMDG act selected.
Load fuel payload for PMVG.
Value row 3 1 selected.
That's on 1.
Row 4 row. Option row 4 load fuel payload for Phoenix act selected.
Load fuel payload for Phoenix.
Value row 4 0 selected.
It's on 0, but you don't need to worry about that.
Option row 4 load fuel payload for Phoenix act selected.
I think that's what that's saying. Let's see.
Load fuel payload for PMDG act 1. Options. Load fuel payload for Phoenix act 0. Captain for data 0. Load fuel payload for Phoenix act. O A D F U E L T A Y L O A O L Y A T L E U E L.
Load fuel payload
A Y L O A D F O R F E N
for
X A C F
Phoenix
C A C F T F C A C F T space 0.
HEFT. So that's not for PMVG.
Value row 4 0 selected. Row 5 row. Option row 5 captain for prep data selected.
Capt enters prep data.
Value row 5 0 selected.
That's on
Option
0.
row 5 captain for prep data selected. O L 1 load fuel payload options. Load fuel payload captain for prep data 0. Captain for prep A P T E
Yeah, CAPT for
T
captain.
E N T E R T R
Enters
T R E F
PREF
A T A.
DATA pre-flight data.
Value row 5 0 selected.
That's on 0.
Row 6 row. Option row 6 remember cruise location selected.
Remember
Value
location.
row 6 0 selected.
That's on 0.
Row 7 row. Option row 7 call flap settings selected.
Call flap settings is
Value row
1.
7 1 selected. Row 8 row. Option row 8 override MNG flaps on approach selected.
Override managed flaps on approach.
Value row 8 1 selected.
That's on 1.
Row 9 row. Option row 9 call PMDG V1 selected.
Call PMDG V1.
Value row 9 1 selected.
That's on 1.
Row 10 row. Option row 10 call V2 selected.
Call V2.
Value row 10 1 selected.
That's 1.
Option row value row 10 1 selected. Row 11 row. Option row 11 copilot MNG rev thrust selected. Value row 11 1 selected. Option row 11 copilot MNG rev thrust selected.
Copilot managed reverse thrust.
Value row 11 1 selected.
That's on 1.
Row 12 row. Option row 12 include 2 from marked and FDRF selected. Value row 12 1 selected.
And
Option
then
row 12 include 2 from marked and FDRF selected.
include to and from.
Value row 12 1 selected.
That's on 1.
Row 13 row. Option row 13 hide minimize button selected.
Hide minimize button.
Value row 13 0 selected.
That's on 0.
Row 14 row. Option row 14 copilot shuts down and shutdown flow selected.
Copilot shuts down engine flow. That's what I mean. It shut down the engines.
Value row 14 1 selected.
That's on 1.
Row 15 row. Option row 15 cap calls SRS or CHKD during takeoff selected.
Captain calls.
Value row 15 1 selected. Option row 15 cap calls SRS or CHK dealer. Copilot MNG rev first one license. Include 2 high minimized SIMBR Copilot shuts down and shutdown cap update no data. Cap calls SRS 1. Cap calls SRS or A P T C A L L S
Cap
S
calls.
R S O R C H K D
SRSOR
update no data.
CHK.
Cap calls SRS or CHK during takeoff 1.
Anyway, that's set to
Value row
1.
15 1 selected. Row 16 row. Option row 16 override APU policy for 146 selected.
Override APU policy for
Value row
146.
16 0 selected.
That's 0.
Row 17 row. Option row 17 override APU policy for A310 selected.
Then there's another row override APU for
Value row
310.
17 0 selected.
0.
Row 18 row. Option row 18 MNGLSDTNS for FedEx A320 selected.
Then one for
Value row
A320.
18 0 selected. Data grid view table.
And then we're back
Edit multi-line selected 1. Advanced options should only be used by users who
to the
understand the options
top.
2. Create a DV file button.
Now, again, you can do all this by using the cursor. I've done it. Once you create that file, just exit this.
Data grid view. Option row 18 MNGLSDTNS.
Alt F4.
Main. Flows and checklist grouping. Free FLT flow button. Normal cursor.
And then you can close it
Drop the restart. Exit. Restart.
or restart it. I'm not going to do neither yet because I'm going to show you.
Flows and checklist grouping. Free FLT flow button.
Once you do, let me go back over here.
Meeting controls row 1 column 2. Meeting controls window. Annotate button.
Let me go to
More drop down button. Dock to bottom button. More drop annotate. Pause share left parent. Alt plus T right parent button. Share option drop down button.
we're going to change this share. So we'll stop sharing, reshare. Okay. Okay.
You have share option drop down button.
Now I'm doing the full screen because I want to show you the file that it creates. So
Overview list.
I've got my first officer.
FS-Air, FSDT, FSDT, FS Realist Flight Simulator First Officer Next Team Talk 5 Classic Flight Simulator File 70 of 71.
Inside of a folder on my desktop because that's where it's installed.
Explorer. Flight Simulator Files row 1 column 1. Meeting controls share option. Flight Simulator Files row 1 column 2. Flight Simulator Files window up and status bar view modes group items view list name split Flight Simulator First Officer Next 1 date modified Flight Simulator First Officer Next 1 to 1 date created.
There it is. You go inside of that
items view list,
folder. Now by default, it's going to put it at program x86. Okay, but you go to your first officer next folder,
date modified, did not selected 1 of 57.
and when you
date
go
created.
there,
Company bin 1 of date created
there
colon
you
03
go.
17 data 3 of 57.
Hit D for data,
Items view list act.dat not selected 1 of 3.
and then hit U.
User.dat 3 of 3.
User.dat.
Date modified edit 03/18/2023 16 colon 56 red only row 3 date modified column 2. User.dat 3 of 3. Type colon date modified edit 03/18/2023
Let's see.
colon 16 2023 slash 18 slash 03 slash 18 slash 2023 16 colon 56 colon 16. Type edit that 5 date modified edit 03/8 user.dat 3 of 3.
And it looks like it's got the same file I already had in here,
Data.dat 2 of 3. User.dat 3 of 3. Type colon that file size colon.
but I think it remembered it. But let me show you. So you
cursor,
open
user.dat
that,
notepad.
and when you open it,
Restore close C maximize X.
make
User.dat
it
dash
full screen here.
left bracket stops right bracket.
These are all options that you can change through the notepad.
Axle HT ag equals 1500. LNDG lights ag equals 10,000.
Landing lights equals 10,000.
VRNDSPD warn MPH equals 30.
Ground speed warn equals 30.
Engage nav ag equals 500. N G A G E V N.
Engage VNAV
Engage nav character E. Engage nav ag equals 500.
equals 500. That means it's going to activate the VNAV at 500 feet.
Engage nav ag equals 400.
LNAV 400. Same thing. It's going to activate LNAV at 400 feet.
Autopilot on ag equals 500.
Autopilot on So you take off when you want that autopilot to come on. Here it's got 500.
Auto throttle disable equals 0.
Auto throttle disengage. I put that to 0.
Autopilot off tab equals 0.
Autopilot off. I put that at 0.
Gear X tab equals 1000.
Gear extend.
Autopilot gear X tab equals 1000. E A R E X T A G L. Gear X tab character G E A R E X T A G.
Yeah, gear extend.
Gear X character G C H gear X tab equals 1000.
I got that at 1,000. So my wheels go up at 1,000 feet. My wheels come down at 1,000 feet.
CHKLST delay equals 0.5.
Then you got checklist delay. Anyway, you go down through all these. I'm going to read them all.
CHK flow delay equals 0.3. FLT flow delay equals 0. After start flow start equals 15.
And there's some that might have a yes or no
Couple
option.
taxi LNDG lights ops equals yes.
Like right here.
Couple YLNDG lights ops equals yes. Couple taxi LNDG lights ops equals yes.
Landing lights equals yes. So if you didn't want it to, you put no. So make sure you know what it is before you change it. That way you know what type of style it is. Is it a yes or no? Is it a 0 for no, 1 for yes? You got to follow that. Okay. So
Normal data window items view list user
go next that. And let's go back
data. Flows and checklist grouping 3FLT flow button.
To first officer here.
Forms.main.
Which is titled forms.main. That's just what it's titled. It's interesting that it does that instead of calling it the actual program, but I'm sure there's a good reason for it. I'm not a programmer, so I'm not going to judge that. All right. So let's talk about the other things that first officer that you can do.
Drop down configuration support. Company. Buttons. Company.
See here where it says company? I hit Alt, down arrow to company, hit enter.
Support main. Close button.
Now check this out.
Logbook button.
There's a logbook.
Post flight button.
Post flight, where you can post your flight when you're done.
Set radio flight button.
Set radio frequency. You can set your frequency right here.
Schedule button.
Schedule. That's obviously the schedule. And you can change that.
Finances button.
Finances. I don't think that's implemented yet, but it will be. Let's hit spacebar on it.
Pressed. Close button. Logbook button. Post flight button. Set radio flight button. Schedule button. Finances button. Close button.
Okay, didn't do
Finances
anything
button.
when I hit it. So
close button. Logbook button. Post flight button. Set radio flight button.
So let's
post flight,
say
logbook button. Post flight. Set radio. Schedule button.
Schedule instead.
Pressed. Finances button. Data grid view table. Row 0 row. FLTNDR row 0 632 selected.
Okay. I want to talk about this. This is
Combo box
the
collapse, edit blank.
schedule.
Data grid view table. Combo box collapse. Edit blank. Short selected. Short. Medium long selected. Long.
There's a first thing you come to the combo box.
Medium short selected instead.
And if you down arrow,
Medium short selected
you got
instead.
short for short trips.
Medium selected.
Medium for medium.
Long selected
And
instead.
long for long.
Long.
So
Medium selected.
me, if I'm going to do short and medium,
Short selected. Medium selected.
I'll just put it on medium. Okay.
Data grid view table. Row 0 row. FLTN. Combo box long selected. Medium. Data grid view table. Row 0 row. FLTNDR row 0 632 selected.
Okay. The first thing,
From row 0 KBGR select FLTNDR row 0 632 selected.
you tab past that.
Combo data grid view table. Row 0 row. FLTNDR row 0
It's say row
632
0.
Data grid view table. Row 0 row. FLTNDR row 0 632 selected.
It says something 632. That might be the default flight number, maybe. If you right arrow on this, don't tab.
From row 0 KBGR selected.
You got from KBGR.
FL from row 0 KBGR selected.
So I want to edit this. So if I backspace it,
FLT from row 0 KBGR selected. From row 0 selected. Edit and control edit blank.
oh no, you hit your space bar, it says editing.
Data grid view from row 0 selected. FLTNDR row 0 from row 0 selected. The row 0 KBUF select from row 0 selected. From row 0 selected. Edit and control edit blank.
All right, it says edit and control. So I'm going to put KDAB. That's the flight I'm doing once I get things fixed. Okay. Once I do that, you don't got to hit enter, nothing like that. Just right arrow.
The row 0 KBUF selected. From row 0 tab selected.
And there it is from KDAB.
Throw 0 KBUF selected.
2 KBUF. No.
Throw 0 selected. Edit and control edit blank.
Edit. KLAX. That's where I'm going. All right. I need a drink. This is horrible. Yucky, yucky. Okay.
X. Blank. XALKLAX.
Okay.
Blank.
KLAX. All right.
Debro 0 9 throw 0 clack selected.
And there it is. 2 KLAX.
Debro 0 19:47 selected.
Then you can put the time.
RO 0 22:30 selected. Debro 0 19:47 selected.
Departure.
RO 0 22:30 selected.
Arrival.
Disro 0 444 selected.
Distance. And when you're at the very far right, it won't go no further. So you know you've got that line done.
RO Debro from FL. From Rose FLTND RO 0 632 selected.
Okay. So go all the way back to the left. Or even back to
from row 0 tab selected. Row 0 from row 0 tab selected.
From
row 0 clack selected. From row 0 tab select row 1 row from row 1 KB left selected.
And then down arrow on it puts you on the next spot from
row 0 row 1 row from row 1 KB left selected.
It says KBUF.
From row 1 selected. Edit and control edit blank.
So I would edit it. KLAX.
Row 1 clan selected. Row 1 selected. Edit and control edit blank. DNIKIND blank. Row 1 12:53 selected.
So I know that I'm not going to edit the
RO 114 row 1 12:53 selected.
departure and arrival.
RO 1 row 1 258 select RO 1 row 1 12:53 selected.
I'm not really worried about the distance, but I probably will update that later. But quickly, you could just go through these real quick.
Row 1 from row 1 clack selected.
So we got from KLAX
row 1 kind selected.
to Indianapolis.
From row 1 clack selected.
Back to from down arrow.
Row 2 row from row 2 clan selected. From row 2 selected. Edit and control edit blank.
Edit. From kind, because that's where I'll be leaving next.
Row 2 KDTW selected.
And I like that. That's Detroit. I like finding Detroit. So we'll leave that one.
Row 2 K from row 2 kind selected. Row 3 row from row 3 KDTW selected.
Here's one from KDTW.
Row 3 KSBN selected.
To KSBN. I'll leave it.
From row 3 row 4 row from row 4 KSBN selected. Row 4 KGSP selected.
KGSB.
From row 4 row 5 row from row 5 KGSP selected. Row 5 KBTR selected.
KBGR. I'm going to leave these for now. I've been showing them to you.
From row 5.
And that's it.
Row 5 row from row 5 KGSP selected.
So there's five rows here.
Row 4 row 5 row from row 4 row, row 3 row, row 2 row from row 1 row, from row 0 row from row 0 tab selected. FLT.
So
row 1 row FLTNDR row 1 632 row 0 row.
So what I'll do now.
From row 0 FLTNDR row 0 632 selected.
I think this is, let me see what that is.
F space FREQ. Right Q. $80 30 Fred. $80 post flight. $80 night jump seat KG logbook. Schedule. Finances. Close. Bottom close. Bottom close. Finances. Schedule. Logbook. Jump seat KGSP KBTR TBA. $80 94 KSBNK post flight. $80 32 KD. $80 31 set radio. $630 $630 FLTN top F top FLTNDR from the depth.
I'm trying to see what that first box is.
From row 0 tab FLTNDR row 0 $632 selected. From FLTNDR row 0 $632. From row FLTNDR row 0 $632 selected. Row 1 row FLTNDR row 1 $632 select. Row 2 row FLTNDR row 2 $80 31 selected. Row 3 row FLTNDR row 3 $80 32 selected. Row 2 row 1 row 0.
Okay, yeah.
From row 0 FLTNDR row 0 selected. Edit and control edit blank. Space. Space. Blank. Space. Space. Blank.
So let's just do this.
From row 0 FLTNDR row 0 pi 90W selected.
There it
From row 0
is.
FLTNDR row 0 pi 90W selected. From FLTNDR row 0 pi 90W selected.
BVI Niner got the whiskey.
From row FLTNDR row 0 pi 90W selected. Row 1 row FLTNDR row 1630 row 0 row.
So then once you get it all filled in.
Combo box collapsed. Edit selected medium. Medium button. Combo box collapsed. Edit blank. 2 button. Accept schedule button. Pressed. FSFO dialog. Are you sure you want to accept the schedule? Yes, but no plus no but no plus N.
Then you hit accept schedule.
Yes, but no but no yes but no plus pressed.
Hit
FSFO
yes.
dialog schedule created on 03/18/2023/21:10:14. OK button.
There you go.
Pressed. Support name. Accept schedule button.
So
Generate schedule button. Combo box collapsed. Edit land. Button. Combo box collapsed. Edit land. Button. Data grid view table. Row 0 row. FLTND from row 0 tab selected. The row 0 collect select from rows FLTNDR rows. Combo box collapsed. Edit land. 2 button. Accept schedule button. Generate schedule button.
All right. So you can close that, Alt F4.
Forms.main. Flows and checklist grouping. Pre-FLT flow button.
And then other things. I mean,
drop the restart configuration. Support. Company. Support.
Let's go to
company. Buttons. Load aircraft slash form. Button. Company.
So again, that's under company.
Buttons. Load aircraft slash form. Buttons.
Here's what he's done when it comes to more accessibility.
Company. Buttons.
Under buttons. If you right arrow,
buttons connect.
You've got connect,
voice,
pause,
performance,
flows
and
checklists,
operations,
connect, and then back to connect.
Flows and checklists, operations, flows and checklists, performance, pause.
The
performance
is something you go and look at during the co-pilot when he's doing his walk around.
Pause. Performance.
You go into performance, and it's going to show you where you're flying from, altitude, flap settings, SID and star settings, just like it would, on other flight preferences that you've seen before and other stuff, right? To get out of that, you do not Alt F4, just hit your Alt key.
Pre-FL before start and after start taxi CH before the CH pre-FL reconfigure company buttons.
Go back down to buttons,
connect,
right arrow,
voice, pause, performance.
Go down to performance, hit enter.
Flows and checklist grouping. Pre-FLT
of course, there is no performance right now.
Before start flow button.
But that is how you do that. And there's more stuff he's working on. I mean, you've seen under where it had
restart, configure, support, company, buttons, load aircraft, about, load air buttons, company, support, configuration, support, company, close button, logbook button, post flight button, set radio flight button, schedule button, finances.
That will be an option. Guys, I apologize for the voice. It's horrible. It is. Okay. So
support main.
That's that.
Support main.
The
forms.main flows and check.
Biggest point on this is in this program, you can support request for support request. You can adjust your sounds. You can create a hotkey for the mute.
App start cursor, normal cursor.
There's even
drop the restart configuration, support company buttons.
Under buttons.
Buttons connect, voice, pause, performance, flows and checklists, operations.
You got operations.
Flows and checklists grouping before.
It might not come on because I get to see them done.
Before start CHKLST, start engines button. After start, taxis, before, editor, flows and check, pre-FLTC, before start, start engine, after start, taxi CH, before the edit red, flows, pre-FL, before start flow. Drop the reconfigure support buttons, connect, voice, pause, flows and check, operations, connect, operation. Flows and checklist grouping, before start flow button, before start, and after taxis, before. Combo box collapse, edit land. Ground services button.
Okay, so here, under operations.
Combo box collapse, edit land. Flight services selected. Flight services.
You got flight services.
Ground services button.
Ground services.
Combo box collapse, edit land. Ground services. Information services button.
Information services.
Combo box collapse, edit land. Edit multi-line ground service unavailable. Ground service unavailable. Settings grouping, opacity slider 100. Checkbox not checked. Checkbox not checked. Cargo flight checkbox checked. Operations grouping, flight services button.
Oh, and you can check this.
Settings grouping, cargo flight checkbox checked. Checkbox not checked. Cargo flight checkbox checked. Checkbox not checked. Checkbox not checked. Opacity slider 100. Operations grouping, edit multi-line ground service unavailable. Settings grouping, opacity slider 100.
See if I can see what Dylan was saying.
Messages. Settings. Message downloading SIMBRFFLTPL auto flow. Cargo flight. Bottom cargo flight. Auto flow. Downloading SIMBRFFL messages. Settings. CHKLSTCH before start before to. Flow. Taxi CH before start flow. Information pre-FLTCHKLST. Information sir. Pre-FL after start. Ground services. After start pre-FLTCHKLST. Information sir. Pre-FL after ground service. Flight services. Pre-FLT flow flight services. Flows and checklist operations.
So if we set these.
Checkbox not opacity slider 100. Checkbox not checked. Checked.
Check it.
Checkbox not checked. Checked.
Check it.
Cargo flight checkbox checked. Not checked. Checkbox checked. Checkbox checked. Checkbox. Cargo flight checkbox not checked. Operations grouping. Flight services button. Combo box collapsed. Edit selected flight services. Ground services button. Combo box collapsed. Edit selected ground services. Information services button. Combo box collapsed. Edit land. Information services. Edit multi-line T01830017. Settings grouping. Opacity slider 100. Checkbox checked. Checkbox checked. Cargo flight checkbox not checked. Operations grouping. Flight services button. Combo box collapsed. Edit selected flight
So
services.
again, like I said,
Forms.main.
there's more than one option. Now, I believe on this, you hit
Restart. Configuration.
same thing.
Support.
You go down to
Company.
buttons.
Buttons. Buttons. Voice pause. Performance. Flows and check. Operations. Operations grouping. Flight services button. Edit red only selected. Flows and checklist group. Pre-FL TCHK. Pre-FL. Edit red. Flows and check. Taxi CH. After start flow button. Taxi CH. Before. Edit. Pre-F. Before. Before. Start. After. Taxi. Before. Edit. Pre-F. Before. Before. Start. After. Tax. Before the CH.
Yeah, you do the same thing on operations as what you do on performance or preferences or wherever it is. Don't do all that forward. Just go to the buttons and hit enter on it. Okay. So
Forms.main.
the main idea here, folks,
Meeting controls row 1 column 2. Share option drop down button.
it's clearly to just one, show you guys, or even just to put this out there so that one, the developer knows that it's appreciated. Not saying nobody doesn't appreciate it, but you give credit where credit is due, right? Just like we do with TFM. We've done many videos, all the sneak peeks that we did for the 737. Right now he's working on some other stuff. I don't know when the next sneak peek's going to be, but I'll get back to you. So, you know, I think having more than one thing in one program is much better. That's one less thing you got to open. And I don't know about you, but I like when I'm simming and I only have a few windows that I got to mess with. Gosh, I remember P3D in the beginning, you got like 5 programs running. So anyway, you guys, I will update you
Meeting controls.
on the interview date. So be looking for that. All right. It will be soon, but not with my voice like this. It's horrible. My voice is horrible. Yeah. So there you go. That is all for now. Guys, I appreciate all of you. I'd like to thank you for those of you that has been ongoing to show your support when I'm doing videos, even when it doesn't work out because something goes wrong. Knock on wood. But I appreciate it. We're so close to 100 subscribers. That's exciting for me. Very exciting. If you got any questions for Matt, send me an email. Remember, 737 flights at gmail.com. Put in the subject. As long as it says questions for first officer next. That's a lot easier to remember. Questions for first officer next. Make sure you put that in the subject. If I don't see the questions for first officer next, it's got to at least have that. If it doesn't, your question might get skipped. I might not see it. All right. For that said, guys,
Meeting controls.
I need to drink some lemon, some tea with lemon. I think that'd be good. So we're going to stop the screen share. Y'all take care. Remember to tell your friends about us. Have them come over and subscribe. We'd love to have you. And hopefully, even maybe even tonight, we'll be able to get a flight going. I got to get in the air. See ya.